With me now is Virginia Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger, one of the House Democrats briefed on the intelligence yesterday. She's also a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee and is also a former CIA officer. So, Congresswoman, I want to get this from you as a former CIA officer. Put on your CIA hat, if you will, for me for a second, and just give me your assessment of the intelligence you heard yesterday.
Well, so I can't speak directly to any intelligence that in particular was briefed on, but looking at the basic idea of how intelligence does or doesn't make it into the presidential daily brief, it's important to note that information that is included in that PDB, as it's called, meets a particular threshold. And sometimes there may be elements of the larger intelligence community that's caveating that information or may still be detailing it or fleshing it out. But the fact that information rises to the level of being briefed to the president speaks a lot about the level of credibility or at least concern related to that information.
Well, let me ask it to you this way. Are you more concerned or less concerned about the underlying intelligence that Russia was paying the Taliban bounties to kill American soldiers today than you were when you first heard about this story?
Well, so I am more concerned at this point, and I am more concerned at this point because now, having heard from Taliban leaders that they're assessing and claiming it to be true, that we still have not seen a full-throated denunciation coming out of this White House. And in our briefing yesterday, that's what I said to the chief of staff, was that I want to see this president, this White House, say that they will get to the bottom of this. If there's any doubt in their mind as to whether or not it's true, I expect that they're going to lean into it, aggressively determine whether it's true or not, and take action. But the fact that we haven't heard anything to the effect of, if this is true, we wholeheartedly denounce it. We are offended at the fact that there would be bounties put on the head of U.S. soldiers in a war zone by an adversary nation. I mean, it's just unthinkable that we haven't seen that level of a response out of this White House.
The New York Times is reporting that there is a financial trail between the GRU in Russia and Taliban-linked bank accounts in Afghanistan. Are you getting enough information to satisfy your questions on that link?
What's important to me, and I'm a former intel officer, so I will always keep asking questions. That's how you create good intelligence reports. That's how you layer together the information from various different sources and places to create a picture of a larger thing that happened, event that happened, or threat that exists. And I would like to see the entire body of Congress briefed by intelligence officials. I am glad that Director Haspel will be coming and briefing the Gang of Eight, but I do think it's incredibly important that the broader congressional body hear directly from her and other intelligence officials what exactly exists in the way of intelligence, what some of the sourcing is, as much as that information can be shared, so that people have a fuller understanding of the timeline of alleged events and what we know about them.
From what you know now, how do you want the president to react, or how do you think the president should react toward Russia?
I would expect that any president of the United States who hears about even the mere threat or allegation that another country is putting bounties on the heads of the soldiers and the troops for which he is the commander-in-chief would come out aggressively and forcefully, denouncing that action, pledging to get answers, and pledging to take action in response to that threat, in response to that allegation, and in defense of the men and women who risk everything in defense of this country.
If it is true, that is a major escalation by Russia. What sort of action are you talking about?
Well, so it's yet another action by an adversary nation that seeks to aggress against democracies across the Western world. We saw it in their advancement into Crimea. We saw it in the 2016 elections. Time and time again, Russia aggresses against democracies. It is their playbook. And now moving to a place where they feel that they have the ability to take this step forward and put a bounty on the head of an American soldier, I think it speaks to the fact that we should have long ago taken some aggressive steps to demonstrate what is and is not acceptable from a country like Russia directed at our democracy and the foundation of this country.
Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate all of your insight. Let's now go to Brett